It's the Olympus Stylus 1010. You know what? Let me start off by saying that in this price range, this is now one of my favorite cameras, one of my top picks. Well, a lot of it's because of the image quality. I haven't played with an Olympus camera in a little while. I forgot how awesome they were and how many cool features that they use on these cameras. Now this one, it's a 10.1 megapixel camera, and here's what's cool. The zoom on this camera, from this tiny camera, it's just a little, well, it's a very small camera, pocket-sized camera, 7x zoom on this tiny camera. Let me show you how small it is when I turn the camera off and the lens goes all the way back in. Yep. Out of that, you get 7x zoom. That's more than twice the zoom of most of the other cameras in its class, because most of the other cameras are like 3 or 4x zoom. 7x zoom. That gets you so much closer. And a lot of people worry about shake, because when they zoom in really close, you do get some shake naturally with the hands, and that shake will be, that's how you get the blurry pictures. The shake is seen. Well, there's an optical image stabilization unit inside here. That means there's a little floating element in there that counteracts the natural shake of your hands. So the blurry images are also going to be a thing of the past. That's nice. Now, on the back here, we have a 2.7-inch screen, and they call this a hypercrystal display because it's extremely nice and bright. And another thing nice about this, it's extremely good way to go if you're someone who really wants to get into photography but has no clue what to do, or if you want to take certain types of pictures. Maybe you saw some pictures on Flickr and you're like, how do they do that? How do they make the background blurry? Well, they've included on the wheel here a guide. Now this is really cool. Let me turn on the guide. Now when you bring up the guide, there we go, the guide, it'll say, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to shoot with effects? Do you want to brighten the subject? What are you trying to do? Oh, well, I was trying to blur the background so the subject stands out more. Well, when you select that, it tells you what to do. Well, if you zoom in, the background's going to be blurred a little more. And then when you press OK, it does the camera function for you. So that's cool. Now the mode has changed. Now it's way zoomed in here. So if I point it at someone, it'll be in focus and they'll be blurry. And you can even do other things. You can go, say maybe I want to take a super close-up. Yeah, let's do that. It says, OK, use the super macro mode, and it does it for you. It puts it in super macro mode. So it's extremely easy to use, even for the novice, and you can get some great pictures with this that you normally wouldn't be able to get. Now, while we're on the wheel, let's take a full tour here. Now, starting off with, there's the play. That's one of the super close-up pictures I just took. That's the back of the box. That's a tiny, tiny little word there. The lens was almost touching the box. All right, moving on over to the automatic modes here. There we go. Now in auto, you have access to a lot of features still. When you press the display button down here on the bottom, it'll show a grid, which is nice, helps you line up the perfect shot, or even brings up a histogram. That's something that the pros will love. This is like a little light meter that tells you what the light is doing, or you can turn that off as well. Now, also here, we have exposure compensation. That makes the pictures lighter or darker, and it gives you previews to show you, hey, if you turn the exposure compensation up, well, here's what your pictures are going to look like, even in auto. If you turn the exposure compensation down, well, here's what they're going to look like. They're going to have this much light. Hi there. So that's how that works. That's really cool. Also, okay, let's go ahead and pick that one there. Oh, made it a little darker. That's all right. I think I want it to be brighter. Let's make it there. Yeah. Over here we have flash controls. You can do automatic flash and fill-in flash, which is nice if you're outdoors and there's other lights available, and red eye reduction as well. Down on the bottom we have a timer. You can set the self timer on. And over here we have the macro modes. We have a standard macro mode. This is great for like flowers and that sort of thing. And we have super macro mode, which is excellent for tiny, tiny things like insects and very small type on boxes like I just showed you. So that's cool as well. I'm going to leave that turned off. Now, also we have the ability to go into the menu and change the white balance options. The ISO goes all the way up to, I believe it's up to 1600, so that's nice as well. You can do single multi-shot or high-speed multi-shot. If you want to hold the button down and get a bunch of shots, you can do that. There's a lot of features in here for professionals. I've got shooting on 3 megapixel right now because that's all I need as far as the video, I suppose. And then you can also put it on fine or normal. Let's move around here and take a look at some of the scene modes. Now these are a lot of fun, and here's what's cool about these. They actually show you a picture example in the camera. So that makes this camera probably one of the most easy to use cameras I've ever seen. They even give you a little description there. If you want to take a landscape and portrait, it tells you like, oh, this is good for, shooting both the main subject, et cetera, et cetera. But there's all sorts of different scene modes here: night, portrait, sport. There's even modes for, well, behind glass. You know, sometimes you take a picture behind glass and it comes out blurry, or there's a big bright light on it because the flash went off. Well, it fixes that. There's even a document mode, all kinds of mode. I mean, using these modes, you'll be able to get extremely cool shots that you normally wouldn't be able to get on your own. So I encourage you to check out the modes. Now, let's go over, there's the guide again. Now, if we want to take a video, it'll do 640 by 480, and it'll do 640 by 480 at 30 frames a second. So that's nice as well. And if you have certain modes that you always use, add them to the favorites menu, and then when you go over to the favorites menu, you can select them all there. So very simple and easy to use camera. So there you go. There's the back. As you can see, there's a lot of features there that professionals are going to like. And one thing I might want to also add is that you can manually adjust some of these settings here. If you put it in the program mode, which is the one right beside auto right there, you can adjust the shutter all the way up to 1/2000th of a second and all the way down to 1/2 a second. So that's cool as well. Now let's talk about media and the battery. Now I'll show you the battery here. We just throw the little switch and then that pops open. Inside here we have an XD card. It comes with a small one in the box. I'd recommend picking up, well, it's a 10 megapixel camera, so get at least a couple gigabytes if you want to be able to take a bunch of pictures. And there's a little lithium-ion rechargeable battery, so that's nice to have as well. There we go, close it up. And like I said, make sure you do pick up a larger XD card. You would not want to get home with this and realize, oh no, I can only take 15 pictures. That's no good. So pick up a nice large card, get to shooting. And another bonus with this, besides the huge amount of zoom that you have with this one, 7x zoom is unbelievable. It's also 10 megapixels, which means the shots are going to be very large. And very large shots are handy because if you want to, say you take a picture and there's something really pretty going on, but it's only in the middle of the picture and you want to crop that and get rid of all the other junk. Well, if you only have like a 3 or 4 megapixel camera, maybe even a 5 megapixel camera, if you crop in, you're losing a lot of quality. Well, with this kind of picture, 10 megapixel, you can crop a lot and still get a nice blow up of the same image. So that's cool as well. Again, the Stylus 1010 is one of my top picks in this price range. An excellent camera, a lot of excellent features. The zoom is unbelievable, and the ease of use and all the features and that little guide that they've given you, well, you're going to be able to do some shots with this that you can't do with other cameras. Stylus 1010. I'll see you next time. For more information on the Stylus 1010, go to CompUSA and simply type Stylus 1010 into the search box. You'll notice that the camera comes in blue, purple, silver, and black, so pick the one you like. Also, give us a call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 1-800-CompUSA.